Good afternoon, dreamers. Good afternoon. It is a fine one. It's a cold one. It's a cold one. It's a very, very cold spring/winter day. When's the spring going to stay? That would be good, wouldn't it? If only it would. I suppose I ought to apologise for setting a bad example with the smoking, but this is therapy for me, so, you know, we all need a vice. So, part of the reason I'm doing this is because I'm afraid of, I suppose, what you might call normal relationships. And so this is partly a compensation for that. I find that when I get into relationships, my energy and the energy of the other person blend to an extent where I sometimes feel really lost. So when I spend long periods working stuff through in this crazy world, it's about finding a sense of stability. So that's kind of, you know, tricky information to impart, but it needed saying, I think. There we go. So my first dream recap of this episode is it was a tower in a jungle. And it was, well, more of a pyramid really, and it had steps, distinct steps going down, and it was a kind of hanging gardens as well. So there was this thick growth all over it, and the whole thing had been designed so that all the stuff that was growing, all the plants and ivies particularly growing on the steps, were irrigated by this channel that ran right from the top of this pyramid and was cut into the stone. And it was a red stone, or a dark red stone. The ivy was very, very bright green. So those two colours, when you look at colour therapy and how those things can touch a feeling state for us. Red and green are very distinct in their feeling tone. I believe the eyes are adapted so that they perceive red as being closer and green as being further away. There's something about the way the cones work in the eyes that tends to mean, you know, we kind of make that colour decision before any other in terms of the instinctive approach to nature. So I wanted to share a little bit of that dream with you, but I went a bit off topic. So yeah, I was running down this tower and the water was cascading after me. So the water is, you know, other people's feelings or my overwhelm response to, you know, maybe that's a conscious decision, more conscious as I get older, of running away from this kind of sense that feelings are always building and yeah, just overwhelming really. I suppose by connecting with lots of people, I'm allowing their energy back as well. It's a two-way street. Anyway, that dream didn't really have, you know, a lot more to offer really. It was just that running away from feelings, I suppose. But you know, you can overinterpret dreams, right? You can overanalyze them, and clearly that's not always a healthy choice. There are some feelings that it's kind of best to leave in the dream world somehow. But I have a second dream to share, which is about a dark wall. I woke into a space where I was looking at this pitch black wall, and I couldn't tell how tall it was. It was everything in my field of view, and I put my hands into this space, and reached in to sort of sense its quality, and it was like that feeling you might have sometimes where you don't have a story to go with what's happening. You just have this complete mystification at the kind of infinite space, and I was still the witness, but I wasn't Rob. I was just watching. That was interesting. And then I kind of shook myself down, woke up, the way one does. The last thing I'd like to share with you today is a little bit of I Ching, which is a Chinese philosophy that blends intuition and foresight, insight and pragmatism, and it also taps into a level of feeling which is about trust. That is to say, trusting the wider cosmic forces, trusting the infinite space, that it brings you into a wisdom which is yours to live out, to live through, I guess. So I've got this nice deck of I Ching. There's 8 cards here, and they're the element cards. And then I think it's 72, 78 I Ching. 64. It's 64 different cards. And the way I like to do this is I will roll a dice. It's an 8-sided dice. You can pick them up from any good role-play store. Whoa, where's the camera? Where's the camera? It's a 2. So I'm probably going to edit this down, but I need 2 numbers, so that's a 3. So I then go through these and I'll shuffle them quickly. That's the second card, so I choose that first. I'm going to have to edit flip the whole video. That says water, obviously. I think you can tell. And then that goes back in and I reshuffle. And I've got 3, which is 1, 2, that one. Mountain. So this is the point where I put the 2 together, and each of these cards has got a dial. And all I've got to do now is find the combo that matches water and mountain. And I'm going to pause out for a minute. Edit. I guess I'm still recording. Oh well, I'll edit this later. So, water under mountain. Right, this is going to be tricky. And the sun's come out, I'm pleased to say. What am I saying? There we go. Oh, there it is. So maybe I don't need to edit this too much. That's the card. Whoa, let's get this in camera view. So, water under mountain. Now, I could have chosen any card, right? I could have chosen any card. It was random, quote unquote random. It's kind of what I was dreaming about. Don't you think that's mysterious?